I thought like brethren, I was brethren. I was out in the big wide world, no money, because they'd frozen my bank accounts in case I stole it from my wife or she stole it from me. We'd never have dreamed of doing that. But they convinced the bank that they've got to freeze my money. So I've been scratching around. Last year I was hungry. I've been staying in dormitories with 6 to 10 people because I can't afford anything else, even at the age of 69. So I know what hard times are, and I know what it feels like to come out of a religion or a cult. I say, before we start thinking about wider than the UK and wider than Yorkshire, please, for compassionate reasons, £9 million, Mr. Hales, is the least I need. And I know exactly what I would do with that. And I'm prepared to hold myself accountable to you, Samuel, anybody, even my enemies, how I use that money.
Yes, complete transparency.
Absolutely. This is not, we can't measure the compensation for the damage.
No,
this is just care. This is just the start of something great, which will actually help cults to come in line with mainstream Christianity, come in line with true values, come in line with Christ and the way, the truth, and life. That is really what we're after.
So, considering all that you have gone through, Lance, like, what is it that you're wanting to do now, considering that you have lost everything?
I just don't want anybody ever to have to go through what I've been through. And I mean that in all sincerity. Many would be crushed. I just feel emotional just saying it. So, I need finance now. I mean, I've lost my family, lost my business. I had a plan done with government support through Beaumont's and Wakefield, business growth advisors, and they will back me up on this. My family, my business should be making some £9 million a year now, which if I had got my share of that, I shared it with my wife and the kids, some £3.5 million of that a year will be coming my way. Now, of course, the brethren derided that. Oh no, it's a fictitious plan. No, it was completely construed with government support, absolutely tangible. But of course, they can't use it in a court of law to get my settlement. So I never got a fair settlement price for my business at all, at the time of COVID, at all, because I was good in business. So I now need money to actually turn this into a retreat for leavers, because I don't want anyone to go through, so where there's counselling, support, care, all available through people like yourself, who you don't take Christian ground per se, although you believe in Christ. I don't see much difference, but
there is none. That's it.
And I'm a Christian, but I hate the label in a way. I'm just me. Let the others judge whether I'm a Christian or not. We don't claim it. But I now need to create a team of counsellors. And if the cults and the religions and groups of people have got enough about them to recognise that they are in a trapped, high-controlled environment, they are the very people, because they've controlled people to get money together, who can fund this.
Yes.
Does that make any sense to you,
totally.
Samuel?
And there can be a righting of wrongs as well in this, massively, and I've seen, the potential of the grounds and the buildings that could be used to help people in that way. you know, as a safe space for them to come and realise and be okay with stepping outside of that controlled narrative.
Yes.
And being able to almost bring themselves back to who they truly are. That's what I've seen here, and you've shown me that. You know, it's like we've had the potential to go and see a house that's on the land here as well.
Yes. And there's another owner of one of the houses who wants to sell to me.
Yes.
And that would actually recreate the splendour, if that's the right word, of Noblethorpe Hall, and reclaim potentially the stable blocks, the saddlery, the clock tower, gardener's cottage, and these lovely buildings which used to augment the hall.
B1, yes. Yeah.
And I would love to get them back and turn this whole little area of Noblethorpe into a mirroring. We've got an autism centre at the back there. So a system of care and love where people can come and relax and feel so secure and relaxed and happy that they just spill out all their cognitive dissonance, and have people like you and myself and others better than us, hopefully, able just to help them pull their life together.
Yeah, it was be a bridge from one world to the other, isn't it? You know,
Yes.
From control to liberated.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And in true connection with who they truly are again. And that's not just about, you know, controlling secular places. You know what I mean? It's everybody. It's inclusive of everybody, because the society that we live in right now, I would ask the same question: are you truly free, or are you beholden to something? You know, and this isn't about breaking away and being, you know, an anarchist. There's an element of that, but ultimately, the truth is taking back who you truly are. And if you can have a place to do that here, maybe somewhere else in the UK, maybe abroad as well, there is a potential widening of the help and the guidance that we can give to people who are scared to leave that. And it's not about leaving anything out here. It's more about leaving something in here, you know, and bringing it back down to a place of balance and harmony within yourself, so that you're really happy.
Exactly. It works. I mean, I went down to the Northern gathering last Sunday, and I'll probably go this as well. But hey, if they can't have me into that religion, they could say, hey, we'll just send someone up, 2 or 3 people, to talk to Lance at Noblethorpe Hall in his little community of care after cult, and take a report back and say, actually, he's got the good of all at heart. So we'll be glad to support that. Because he's not against us, he just cares for souls and people.
Exactly. And it's a case of, you know, what you've had taken from you, you want to give back. And it's also for the people who have enacted this and served this injustice, then there needs to be a level of balancing within themselves as well. And I feel that is the thing that they can help themselves to do energetically. That's going to do them great favours when they come up against their truth. You know? And that's a thing that you can learn how to rectify, and by balancing and clearing karma in essence. And that's a really important thing. And I don't know what that's worth. What would that figure be? You know?
Well, I think first stage, we aim to secure this cluster of buildings around Noblethorpe Hall, reclaim the land and the buildings that used to be part of it. That would be then we've got scope to do different aspects, like people may need legal advice. So we'll have a legal shed. People need psychological help. I was like a complete cat in headlights once they excommunicated me, because I devoted my whole life to it. I thought like brethren. I was brethren. I was out in the big wide world, no money, because they'd frozen my bank accounts in case I stole it from my wife or she stole it from me. We'd never have dreamed of doing that. But they convinced the bank that they've got to freeze my money. So I've been scratching around. Last year I was hungry. I've been staying in dormitories with 6 to 10 people because I can't afford anything else, even at the age of 69. So I know what hard times are. And I know what it feels like to come out of a religion or a cult or whatever you want to call it. So the issue isn't what we call things, it's what it is.
It's the energy of what it
Yeah.
is, a control-based fear system.
Yeah, and if I didn't feel that I was blessed in God's goodness with any gift to be able to help people from a pure angle of care, I wouldn't be asking for, even suggesting money. I'd just stay.
It's through embodiment, yes.
Yeah.
Now that you've realised the pain that you go through, you don't want other people to also experience that same pain, and that's why we do what we do.
Yes. And very simply, we need, when the people first come, I reckon, I've had one or two through, Richard Story being one of them. He was here for 4 months. And generally speaking, I reckon with the right help surrounding what I'm doing, available here, we could get people through this and out the other side within 3 months. But where people, to the level of brainwashing, if that's the right word, conditioning or control they've been used to, but to be able to survive in the world, and they've got money, so they'll be able to pay for it, so it'll be self-sustaining once we've got it, potentially. Not all cults people have got money, and they lose it. They potentially lose everything when they leave. That's the awful thing about it.
Yeah. And that's scary for people.
It's stripping
That's a
people.
big worry.
Yes,
Even if you do have these conscious thoughts and feelings within you, you realise that you are beholden to something, and that's not fair. That's not okay.
And you're stripped of your dignity. Let's be fair. They stripped me of my dignity.
Yeah.
So you can do anything. You can commit. You know, you're such a low spot. You can commit suicide. You can make love with the first thing in a skirt because you've lost your wife.
Yeah.
You can do all these outrageous things, and to think that they're ready to punish you for doing that when they've actually perpetrated it.
Yes.
It's so wrong.
Yeah, it's so twisted in the manipulation of the mind of and the hearts of people. That is not all right. Yeah.
But we know that. So here we are saying we're not vindictive people. We're not saying there's no effort to get our own back here.
No,
it's just care.
We're just balancing the energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will start the reconciliation process. Because people in there who have been causing this harm will be shamed by their own people, not by us. That's not our job to shame people. Our job is to save people from that hell, you might say.
Help them to save themselves and make them realise that they have that potential.
Yes, exactly.
And that chutzpah, I love that word, that they don't know that they have yet.
Yeah. And then, so we have to go through, I mean, whatever you say, I'm recognised as being the advocate for outlawing psychological slavery in cults. Yeah. So you break down what's an advocate, and I've done it in my Free Indeed presentation for the government, because we're trying to get charitable status again. We've had it rejected because the government support the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, and they've seen something on the website which isn't supportive of the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church. That's one of the reasons. Other things. Yeah. So we are reapplying.
Yeah. So Free Indeed is the charity that you're looking to set up to help people to do exactly this.
Yes. Yeah. And so I've described what an advocate is, what psychological slavery is, what cults are. I've also done a whole pamphlet on spiritual abuse. All these things are awful, terrible. To have people's minds conditioned to turn them against their parents, has happened to me.
That's a huge, powerful amount of fear, isn't it? That's in control.
My father was going to the lake of fire. 2 priests went to the house. This is a leprous house, so he had to go trudging, humiliated outside and meet them in the car. And they said, you're going to the lake of fire. And it's just so terrible what they do, and they leave him. And then he pulls himself together and asks to come back. And the leader spits and says he hasn't broken his link with LWT. Completely irrelevant. Will not face the issue that he's withdrawn from him wrongly. So you're absolutely wrecked. And I understand this. Mercifully, I had enough about me, because I'd had to do with the big wide world in business, to realise I wasn't quite the mental wreck that they were making me out to be.
Yeah, and that takes a lot. So
but having been through it, I would say humbly, I'm one of the best equipped, better than even a psychiatrist because I've been through it. There's no substitute for experience.
Yeah, you can't read in a book something and fully embody it.
No.
You have to go through it. And that's the point we want to make here, is locked up within your trauma, if you want to call it that, or what you have experienced in this lifetime is the biggest gift that you could possibly know. And that's why we're doing the work that we're doing here. Because we know what it feels like, and we know it's terrifying, and we know it's lonely.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have to be.
Absolutely.
That's what we're saying here.
Absolutely. So this will be charitable giving because in that sense. So if you've got faith in me that my motive is kind and charitable, and not all charities are kind and charitable, I hasten to say. Yeah. But if individuals, even in trapped high control organisations, have got faith in me as a person, and I will hold myself, very glad to hold myself accountable to you, Samuel, because people might like you and not me. So I've already invited you to be a trustee of this charity. I know you're going to think about it for a month or so, but because of the faith I've got in you as a person, I've invited you to be a safe pair of hands in this organisation. Not because you've got the label of being a Christian, no, not at all. Because you're reliable, you understand the issues. If they've got faith in me or you, hopefully me, those that know me, because they'll feel a bit bad about what they've been in that's contributed to my downfall in that sense.
And how we've acted in that time.
Yeah. And if they accept there's something beyond me that's got me through this and out the other side, and I'm hoping to get married within the next 3 weeks. Wonderful. God's very good. All things work together for good to those that love God. If they can hang on to that scripture, all things work. Take a plunge, take a step, fund me, come to Noblethorpe Hall. I'll do my best for you, give you a good time, tell you what I've been through, tell you how to get through it yourself in a month, potentially, rather than the 8 years it's taken me. Yeah. With intensive times like this, they can do it in a month, but it may take 3, dependent on the individual. Yeah. We can't prescribe that. Yes. And that is worth its money in gold to people. Yeah. But I need to get through this next period of being able to fund what I need. And I would, you might say, I would like to think that I could spend on properties in this area alone, this could become the base for the UK. Then if it works, we'll do the same in Australia, same in New Zealand, we'll do the same in India, potentially, other countries where cults, America certainly, Canada certainly, other parts of Europe. We will do stage 1, UK, and set it up all beautifully with resource as well as buildings. 9 million quid. So if Bruce Hales, and my brother Garth has been invoiced for 2.5 million just to pay my costs back because it's completely wrong what he's done under Bruce Hales' control. A year ago, last May, still hasn't come back at all. Because I suppose he's thinking, well, as soon as I pay Lance some money, that's game up. Too much. It's a mission of that we're wrong and you're right, Lance. That's what's hindering. How are we going to overcome that, Samuel? Garth thinks that he doesn't want to admit I'm right because he's withdrawn from me. Yeah. But he's got to, hasn't he? If the facts are that I've been withdrawn from wrongly, Mike Hughes, Garth Christie, Bruce Hales, he pronounces, it comes back down to the brethren, they all withdraw from me. If it can be proven that that's wrong, surely you can't measure the cost of losing your family, your business, your money.
Not at all.
In money, can you?
No, you can't, no. All you can do is you can use the energy of money to rectify the damage done to potential other people or people who are going through this at the same time.
And I think the strongest message to the world will be if those that perpetrated the evil are part of the healing process, even if it's only supporting it financially.
So powerful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So powerful.
They have got money in there, got masses. My brother got an £8 million payout from Bruce Hales, I understand. I'm not sure of all the details, during COVID, because he sold a business of doing gloves or something. Well, for me to invoice 2.5 million plus compound interest, which is now just over 3 million, to my brother, yes, please, brother, because you've got it to give.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've put it into trust, hidden trust here, there, and everywhere. No, you don't go away with dodgy trust with me. That's the Steward Act, and that's going to be exposed as quickly as it's humanly possible through the political systems we've got.
Yeah. Fundamentally, the money that is being held up by people who, some unconsciously, some consciously, are doing the work of, if you want to call it, the devil.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have the opposite to that, who are people who are going to use this money to help further and empower beings to love rather than fear.
Yes.
That's the essence of what we're getting at here, and it's possible.
Yes.
You know, it's more than
Well,
possible.
I'd just like to add this. My wife to be is in Thailand. She's as poor as a church mouse, beautifully sincere, and her father has got one leg, just like Jed had, and he can't afford a leg. I want to provide, just like for my father-in-law, just like I've provided for my son.
Yeah.
And I put tens of thousands, hundreds. I spent £40,000 on beds while he had his stump reformed in Sacramento, the USA. Just the cost of beds. So I have poured my money into doing my best for my son after his accident, under Bruce Hale's, with Bruce Hale's support, actually, and that touched the whole Brethren community when he had his accident, because you know, we were laying a separate drain, so we weren't going into the same drains as the neighbours, because that wasn't the done thing in the Brethren in those days. So that whole issue of wanting to support my new family like I supported my old one is not possible, because I'm skint now.
Yeah.
And her sister, my wife's sister, has needed a cancer operation for a long time now, until I came along in February. She couldn't afford it. So I got SOS, paid for it all, but she's now got to have chemotherapy, can't afford that. So it's all back on me. So I will first and foremost use money to pay for care for my immediate family, but I need to run my program here and get this whole bigger care scheme going.
Yeah.
There's no point me caring for cult leavers if I can't even care for my family.
Yeah, exactly.
I've cared for my family in the Brethren. So, you know, if you were part of my family, you would be my responsibility to care. But if you're part of this, I need to have the funds, because we're on earth, we're not in heaven yet.
Yes, exactly.
So I say, before we start thinking about wider than the UK and wider than Yorkshire, please, for compassionate reasons, £9 million, Mr. Hales, is the least I need. And I know exactly what I would do with that. And I'm prepared to hold myself accountable to you, Samuel, anybody, even my enemies, how I use that money.
Yes. Complete transparency. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that should put your mind at rest, that if there's any money coming in, and how much I use for the leg, even if they feel that I need to be accountable or sign a legal agreement, I love trust. If you trust me, give me the money, I'll use it wisely. But if you need some sort of accountability through the legal system, I'm very happy to oblige. But I don't want to be controlled by Mr. Hales. Thank you very much. I've had too much of that.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be better if he really does need some sort of accountability to actually appoint a team, maybe in Morthen, where I would like to break bread, this little subdivision down the road. And they're my closest neighbours, they could come up and, you know, Jim Hutchinson, Mount Deeks, even Mike Hughes, who's, I'm sure he'll turn around and be my friend one day.
Well, that's the thing as well, is it's helping Mr. Hales to also clear his consciousness with this as well, you know? Because it wears heavy on your soul, you know, and it comes out in weird and wonderful ways, you know. So,
Well, money means so much to him, obviously.
Yeah.
We don't, it's so obvious, man. So equally should mean something to him that he's actually having to, being implored to give some money back to those that he's damaged.
Yeah.
But this is not, we can't measure the compensation for the damage.
No,
this is just
it's
care.
infinite,
This is
yes.
just the start of something great,
Yeah.
which will actually help cults to come in line with mainstream Christianity, come in line with true values,
Yes.
come in line with Christ.
Yeah.
I'm the way, the truth, and life. That is
Yeah.
really what we're after.
Yeah.
And
there can be miracles,
Yes.
you know, that happen because of this.
yes,
You know,
Yes.
dishonesty.
Yes.
You know, dishonesty is
personal honesty and collective honesty.
yes, exactly.
And we will,
accountability.
yeah, and we will, if people aren't honest when they come in, we will make sure that they understand the value of being honest by the time they go out.
100%. Yes.
And whether they follow through with that, I think they will, because they'll see how superior it is to money and the deception that money can bring.
yes. Yeah.
Is that good enough?
I love it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you.